家好，我的名字是释愿意，我在 Georgia Strait 报社工作。Hello, my name is Michelle De Silva, and I'm a food and lifestyle writer at the Georgia Strait newspaper. In this week's issue of the Georgia Strait, it's our 18th annual Best of Vancouver Awards. And in the food section, we have a number of special stories to go along with that issue. The first story I'd like to tell you about is our cooking column this week, in which we feature Chef Matthew Stowe, who is the product development chef at Cactus Club Cafe, as well as the most recent winner of Top Chef Canada Season 3. So Matthew Stowe actually was born and raised in Cloverdale, BC, and he got into cooking in high school, where he took a cooking class in his grade 11 year. And he ended up doing so well and liking it so much that he eventually started working at the Pan Pacific and Hotel Vancouver while he was still in high school. When he graduated high school, he attended the Culinary Institute of America in New York, which is one of the best top cooking schools in the world. And after that, he actually worked in Manhattan for 2 years before returning to BC to work at Sonora Resort in the Discovery Islands. Matthew started working at Cactus Club in 2010, I believe, and he now works alongside Rob Feeney, helping to develop new menu items for all of the Cactus Club restaurants in BC, in Alberta, and they're actually going to be opening their first location in Ontario sometime next year. So Matthew actually shared one of his favorite childhood recipes, and it's a version of his mom's recipe for Dungeness crab spaghetti. This was a really easy dish to make, especially considering it comes from a top chef competitor, and it uses a lot of local ingredients like heirloom tomatoes, great fresh crab, herbs, garlic, and spaghetti, of course. If you go online to straight.com, you'll actually see a video of Matthew Stowe showing how to properly cook spaghetti. So he's got some great tips in there. Online, you'll also find step-by-step photos of Matthew demonstrating how to make his dish. Another article that I'd like to tell you about that's featured in this week's food section is Tara Lee's article on long-running family-run restaurants in Vancouver. And it's interesting because she looks in particularly at the family-run restaurants that were started by immigrants to Vancouver from various countries around the world. So she interviews the restaurant owners at Malmali Malaysian Delight, which was formerly named Cafe Delight, Rinconcito Salvadorino Restaurant, Bao Chow, as well as Culinaria Filipino Eatery. So if you'd like to know more about those restaurants, as well as the families that run those restaurants, you can check that out online at straight.com, as well as in the print issue of this week's Georgia Strait. In the Best of Vancouver issue every year, we also do a lot of contributors picks. And this year there's quite a number of food and drink contributors picks, highlighting some of the best events, restaurants, and foodie things in Vancouver. So a few that I'd like to just mention are long table dining, and that has really grown in Vancouver the past year. What long table dining is when you go to a restaurant or a dining event, instead of sitting at your own individual table, you usually actually sit at one long communal table. So this might be, 10, 20, 30, even up to 50 people sitting at a table together and often sharing food and dishes and the meal together. A few of the most popular long table events that have occurred this year are Dîner en Blanc, which happened recently close to Science World, and That's the annual event where everyone who attends dresses in white, and the location isn't revealed until the day of. And you show up, and everything is sort of a surprise as to what goes on. But the great thing about long table dining is that oftentimes you get to sit alongside strangers and make some friends while you're enjoying the meal. Another event another restaurant rather that made our contributors picks was the best places to have coffee in Kitsilano. And so one of our contributors scouted out some of the new independent coffee shops that are actually popping up along West 4th. Again, you can check out those details at straight.com as well as in this week's issue of The Straight. And other things you'll find include, best places to find Indian groceries, best French cafes, and best places to try BC wine on tap. So be sure to check out our food and drink contributors picks at straight.com, as well as in this week's Best of Vancouver issue of the Georgia Straight. One other news item I'd like to bring up is the Vancouver Airport, YVR, actually just launched a Canucks-themed sports bar at the airport this week. And so the official name is actually Canucks Sports Bar and Grill, and it's opened in the U.S. terminal of YVR. And it's a really great sort of last stop before you're heading on a flight to the U.S. For Canucks fans. It's filled with Canucks memorabilia. You can actually buy official merchandise on sale there. And of course, there's loads of big screen TVs playing NHL games as well as other sports games. And the food there is your sort of typical sports bar fare. So you'll find burgers, salads, pasta dishes, sandwiches, lots of appetizers that you can share. And they're also running a full-service breakfast menu as well for those early flights. If you'd like to check out more about that story, you can find that in our food section at straight.com.